Pop his chat out. Yeah, Dev got that O back. I knew he would, man. What up, fellas? What's going on, guys? Yeah, I can't. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say? Um, I don't know. I don't really give a shit. Like, I don't think Ryan would care. You know, I don't know. The whole him getting the zero back don't really mean shit to me. Because if it's ruled a no contest, then that's what it is. It's going to be ruled a no contest. Uh, he still lost though. He's going to remember that loss, you know, as much as we will, and that's all that really matters. So I still think people are going to boo when they announce him as undefeated, though. Yeah, that's the fight's forever. What happened is not going away. I can't recall another situation like that where someone got like pummeled and then it got reversed like that. Right now, I'm sure it happened or whatever, whether it's a DQ or whatever. But yeah, with Devin was talking about, he's glad it wasn't a DQ because he wouldn't have wanted to win that way, right? He wouldn't have wanted to win that way, but he's celebrating it, and he celebrated, bro. I'm not trying to cut up or anything, but the dude celebrated by doing the Diddy dance. I'm just saying, like when the whole world is talking about you got diddled by Diddy, and then your celebration video is you doing the Diddy dance. He was doing the Mo Money, Mo Problems dance. That's what he was doing. And like the Michael Jackson, he did grab his pelvis and shit and did that. These are all fucking pedos and sex creeps. I don't know. It's kind of funny. Kind of funny. If this, then yeah, I mean Loma whipped his ass too. He should have had a loss then. Yeah, I don't know about no Diddy. I think Haney's saying yes Diddy all the time. Yes Diddy. I just saw Paulie Malignaggi, Teddy Atlas, and who does the show with Tim Bradley as well, even though not so much. I'm not talking about him. Paulie, the other dude from New York that Pacquiao whooped, Algieri, Haney or Algieri, Malignaggi, and Teddy Atlas. Bro, they was dick riding the hell out of Tank. Like this dude just can't be beaten by anybody. Like I heard some people were in the chat the other day talking about, people were saying he smokes everyone up until Boots. Like it would take Boots to beat Tank, right? And I was kind of laughing about that. But yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Pound for pound number 4? Like this is crazy in itself. He's never proven he's even top 10. But acting like, look. All they kept saying the same shit. And like we had this conversation the last couple streams, but they kept repeating the same shit was he's downloading information for 5, 6, 7 rounds. Yeah, he loses them all, but he's just downloading info and waiting to set a perfect trap and get you up out of there, right? And it's like, well, why doesn't he don't do that? Why didn't he do that with the best guy he ever fought? First of all, which I thought he lost to, but whatever, close. Cruz. He couldn't do that to Cruz, did he? When has that ever been a successful style or a fight? When has that ever led to success in boxing, right? What do they compare Tank to? Canelo, Mike Tyson, Golovkin, whatever, big come forward destroyers, right? Dude, when did Golovkin ever lose multiple rounds until he catches you? When did Mike just lose multiple rounds until he catches you? When did fucking Canelo lose multiple rounds until he catches you? When did any destroyer lose any great destroyer, right? When did Joe Frazier lose multiple rounds until he catches you? When did Sonny Liston, Jack Dempsey? When did this ever happen? It doesn't exist. It's not like a thing. People are being, I don't know, they're the shit in their brain. They're getting excited by seeing someone get flatlined, but who the fuck are they flatlining? Like, it's nobody. Like, no one thinks Frank Martin came to win. You know, he didn't came to win. Like, yeah, he waits to get. That's insane. Nobody is gonna willingly give up rounds. Like, you want to win the round and still do everything that they say Tank's doing. Downloading information, data, setting traps. You can still win the rounds while doing that shit. If you're actually that good, that's what you do. That's what Golovkin did. That's what Mike Tyson did. That's what Pacquiao. That's what they all do. Yeah, Wilder is a bit more in terms of what's actually happening than Canelo. He is a better pound for pound, and I'm saying pound for pound specifically so you understand I'm adjusting for the size differential of skill sets. He is still a better pound for pound fighter than Wilder, but it's still the same thing. He's not good enough to win rounds. There's no other way to put it. He's just not good enough to win the rounds. So what happens when you don't knock someone out? And then I saw Algieri, Tim Bradley, and they're talking about, I think Tim was just saying Shakur smokes Tank. I think that's what Tim was saying. Algieri was like, well, they're all saying basically Shakur either outboxes Tank, beats him easy in like a point fighting match, just outboxes him easy to a decision, or he gets knocked out, right? But then they're all like, but Loma just gets smoked. But Tank just smokes Loma. It's like, what the fuck? What? Loma is better than Shakur in every category. Every category. And he's going to have the exact same game plan as Shakur, but will execute it much better. He's going to outbox your ass, break you down. Why would Loma not have a chance, but Shakur's 50-50? Like, these guys are fucking idiots, man. Like, how can you have, and they're not, they know what the fuck they're talking about. They know boxing, obviously. I'm not calling them idiots in terms of knowing their boxing. They fucking know boxing. I don't like seeing them they're so fucking biased. They're so biased. That's all it is. They can't just give the black and white, the X's and O's. The shit that they are great at, they just can't do it because their bias is so heavy that it influences any boxing talk they want to give, any points they try to make and sound intelligent and show you that they do know the X's and O's. They shit the bed and their bias makes them say nonsense. It's kind of ridiculous, man. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, when I listen to them, I'm just like, I don't want to like talk to these guys or even interview these dudes, but I would love to just be able to jump in like mid-conversation some of these times. Like, wait, what the fuck did you just say? Like, can we please, wait, we got to address that. And they just all let it go. Like, the craziest thing will be said, and they're just like, okay, that sounds about right, Paulie or Algieri or whoever said it. But it's nuts. Like, we were just talking. I know Paulie knows boxing. I don't know about Algieri so much. I'm sure he doesn't not know it, but these guys know what they're talking about, man. No, Bradley is an idiot. Yeah, he's a bit. I'm not going to say, I just want to stick to boxing. That dude, shit, he knows boxing. There's no way he doesn't. So what is he talking about? Mad Chad, what's up, brother? Iceman, salute. What up, Lancero? You think if Loma beats Tank with all the stipulations he'll eventually have to accept, alongside the differences in age, would be one of his best wins in context? Well, let's just first say it's all on a level playing field. It's their next fight. Next fight, everything's on a level playing field. Um, this is the thing, dude. Look, Loma's made a career out of this. He's made a career out of beating Tank. All right. There's a reason Tank avoided this guy for 7 fucking years. Champ in the same division 3 times. Never fought the man. There's a reason. All right. Like, go back to Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell's a better pound for pound fighter. Prime Gary Russell was better than any Tank we've seen so far. All right. There's no doubt about that. As of now, this Tank doesn't compare to that prime Gary Russell. Gary Russell was fucking special. He wasn't supposed to win that. Smokes him. Don't get the credit. In Gary's backyard. What? Run up to even like a Nicholas Walters. They ain't supposed to beat that guy. Killer, puncher, knockout artist. Smokes him, embarrasses him. Embarrasses Gary Russell. Embarrassment. Rigo. He's going to break Loma's jaw. He can't stand up to this dude. It's a Cuban executioner. He's going to smoke Loma. Break his jaw. That's all I heard for 4 months. Doesn't even really land a punch. Gets humiliated and quits. As did Walters. All right. This is what the guy does. Like, you got a punch? Ha! Like, really? Really, you got a punch? Dude, I'm going to bring up Tio just because big, strong young kid, way bigger than Loma, huge puncher. Did he hurt Loma? Did he even hurt Loma? Loma had one arm, and the fight was like a draw. A draw, 7-5 either way. Okay, whatever, right? Dude, it was 6 rounds. Loma did nothing. 6 rounds. Loma beat his ass. Like, what do you say? Why couldn't he hurt him? Ripping monster shots to the body. Nothing, right? Monster. Why haven't these other guys been able to do it? I've heard this over and over. This guy will do it to Loma. Really? They never do. They never do, buddy. Devin Haney is gonna school him so big, young, fucking weight bully, enormous. Gonna beat this little old man. No, he can't. He won't. He didn't. Right? And now Tank, someone smaller than Loma, like the same size as Loma, basically, right? The same size, but shorter reach, which Loma is never used to that. That's going to be a crazy advantage. What the fuck are we talking about? Loma is a killer, like a proven killer. Like, has, some off nights, yeah, but on a top level, dude, smokes shit. Tank's never beat a top level guy. Ever. Like, someone were to, he can't beat that guy. Everybody Tank has ever fought, they're like, Tank's gonna smoke this guy. It's a fucking jobber. It's a gimme fight. It's a showcase fight, just like Frank Martin was a showcase fight. Welcome Tank back. He's out of jail. It's 90 days. Calm the fuck down. You don't get out of shape. 90 fucking days. Relax. Yeah, like, he had 2 years or 3 years in the fucking prison. Like, I don't know, man. Does he have a puncher's chance? Yes, of course. Every fucking body Loma fights has a puncher's chance. It never worked. It's never worked. Why are these guys just like, I'm not saying it won't. Tank might be the one that does it, right? But to even begin to assume that that's the likely outcome is crazy. The likely outcome is Tank gets pummeled. I'm just keeping it a buck. The likely outcome is he gets outboxed, beat the fuck up by just getting punched round after round after round. He's going to try hard. He's going to gas out and get fucked up in them later rounds because he ain't hard. He's never went a hard 12 in his life. He goes a hard 5. Like, what happens if he gets pushed in the early half? What's he going to look like in the second half? I don't know. So I'm just saying that's probably the most likely outcome. Like, what are we talking about? And it's not to say Tank will, pull something out of his ass or whatever. He could. I'm not saying, but to just wash Loma like, yeah, that's out of here. What about Shakur though? Because yeah, he just smokes Loma. What about Shakur? Like Shakur's never done anything. What they're saying is we don't want Tank to fight Loma because we think Loma is gonna beat the shit out of him. So we'd rather him fight Shakur because Shakur's a bum. He'll actually fuck Shakur up. So let's just go have him fight Shakur because then we could be like, oh, he beat someone even better than Loma when it's not really, I'm living in, oh my God, Snoopy. Show me one fight where Loma didn't have a higher output in the 12th round than he did in any other round. Just because you say he quits. Hold on, this is ridiculous. You're saying he quits in the 12th. You mean he doesn't try as hard? No, what happens is he's beating the shit out of his opponents and they have to go balls to the wall in the 12th. It's their only hope in winning. So yeah, he's been whooping your ass for 11 and now you come out fucking throwing everything you got. So it looks a little better for them, but he keeps his output right with them. You're fucking you're rewriting history. You're rewriting history. Man, you don't know shit. Like, why you know what I said is facts. It's not that he quit in the 12th. In the 12th, his opponent has no chance but to go ape shit. That ain't him quitting in the 12th. Like, what the fuck, man? Living in the past. Almost lost to Tio. Oh, did I say he beat Tio? Did I say that? I just said he did nothing for 6, beat his ass for 6. That's what happened. Devin and Andy lost to Devin. You're a fucking basket case. You can make a case he lost to Ortiz. No, you can't. No, you can't. Wow, he beat Kambosos. That's Devin Haney's best win is Kambosos. Best win. Loma did it way better, too. And Haney had 2 chances. Gary Russell Jr. was never on Tank's level, huh? Yeah, young boy, young kid, young boy. I bet you've never even watched Gary Russell fight in your life. You're probably fucking 19, never even seen the dude fight, and you're talking some shit because you're fucking dead wrong. You're dead wrong. Was Tank supposed to win the gold at the Olympics? Was from a child this dude just a fucking boxing prodigy beating everyone's ass? No, he was below average getting smoked. So what are you talking about? And his whole fucking, as an amateur, he sucked. Like, to keep it a buck when we're comparing him to Gary Russell, sucked. And as a pro, he ain't done shit either. Beat a bunch of guys who you're supposed to beat. Who's the best guy you ever beat? Who's his best win? Who? You can't even see him. You blocked him before in the past. Look, if you can come with a legit argument and not make a legit case. Make a legit case on what I'm saying is wrong. Like, please. I've asked this all the time rather than someone just come in, blurt out some emotional fucking garbage. Make a fucking argument. Make a case. What did I say that was wrong? I didn't even really disagree with much of what you said except, the Loma stuff. But again, I've made my case for that. I just gave you their whole careers. Like, Loma has just smoked top level guy. Every time the guy you said would beat him, every time you said this guy's the guy to beat Loma smokes him. Every fucking time. Actually makes them quit usually. But yeah, okay. Go ahead and say this guy's gonna do it one more time. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I don't think Tank really got a better chance. Is Tank better than Rigo? No, he's not. He's not. They're very different, but that should be a much harder fight. And why was that so easy for Loma? Why was Rigo so fucking easy for Loma? Because of the size. It's not that Rigo's smaller. They're just about the same size. When Loma got the size on you, what are you gonna do? Like I think people were like thinking Tank's this big hulking guy like Tio or something coming in, gonna bully Loma around. How are you gonna get past this fucking 1-2? Just bink, bink, bink right down the pipe. He couldn't even stop Frank Martin from lighting his ass up. How? And I'm not saying he won't win, but it's like, slow down. That's all I'm trying to slow the fuck down. Yeah, Hands of Foam is a good one. Loma's best win was against former champ Nicholas Walters to me, because Nicholas took a 6.5-year hiatus after losing and started winning again after he came back. It was definitely impressive. Yeah, it was crazy what happened to him, Nicholas Walters, that is. But yeah, Nicholas ain't no joke. I mean, look at what he was doing. I'm just saying, like, I get you like the people like Tank. I get that. He is a fan favorite. I like him too. He's a fan favorite. He has a fan-friendly style, fan-friendly attitude, everything. He's fan-friendly. I understand that. So, yeah. And Loma beat the brakes off a bunch of fucking fighters you liked in the past. A lot of people already don't like Loma. Americans especially already don't like Loma. So it's like, now we got this big fucking knockout artist. Yeah, we're going to use this guy now to shit on Loma. It's like a never-ending lineup of guys we're just going to... It's like you have one of the greatest fighters on earth right now active, and you just keep pushing him aside and like taking the greatest and being like, you go over here, but let's put this bum up in your place. And then he comes by, eventually the bum got to fight him, knocks him off, and they're like, well, let's take you back off the podium, put this other bum back in your place. And then he knocks that bum, oh, let's take you back off, put this other bum in your place. Like, what the fuck? This dude should have been getting praised. He's the amount of praise Tank has gotten in just 1 week. Loma's never gotten in his life. In his whole career, he's never got the praise Tank has got just for beating Frank Martin. Yeah, and with some guys, maybe, like, because I believe this too. It's obviously he goes, I believe Tank is fine with giving away rounds early on until he feels confident in his counters. The same will be with Loma, and that is dangerous for Tank. I don't think so. The same will be for Loma. I don't think he'll wait, because with Cruz, he couldn't wait. He had to let his hands go more. He couldn't really do that with Cruz. He won't be able to do that with Loma either. I really don't think so. But yeah, he's definitely yeah, it's just, let's walk the guy down. I like doing it. I know what he's doing. It's like, I'll get you eventually. I got it, but you don't always get them. You don't always get them. Like, it's just that simple. You went to a boxing expo in May. You were able to see Rolly Romero, and he is not 5'8". I'm 5'5.5", and I was at least 2 inches taller than Rolly. What kind of shoes did you have on? What did he have on? Did you notice that? Yeah, it gets a little old, right? No, they're not saying he's ducking Tank, at least, right? No one can say he's ducking Tank or ever ducked Tank. Everyone knows Tank ducked fucking Loma. That's not up for debate. Even Floyd states that. That's why he threatened him with Loma. He's ducking Russell. He's ducked Walters. He's ducking Rigo. He's ducking Haney. He's ducking everybody until he beats their ass. And if he don't beat you, you're not going to beat his ass. Like, at best, you get a Tio type fight? That's the best anyone's really ever done with him, honestly. Did someone do better than that? No one's ever done better than Tio, right? No, I think that would be the best. It would be Haney or Tio, I guess. And Haney got pummeled. No, it was Tio. And that's the best. And he's like handicapped in the fight with one hand, like one and a half hands. Yeah, but does Haney? Does Rigondeaux? Well, they didn't really do that for Rigo either. But the guys that they do, does Shakur bring it in? Does Haney bring it in? No. And especially if the media wasn't hyping these guys beyond control, would anyone care at all about them? Would you even know who they are? Now just imagine what Loma is actually doing, but instead of the media just criticizing him for invalid criticisms, just their actual internal biases. But if they were instead pushing him and promoting him with the same fervor that they do fucking tomato cans from America, I think he would generate this. He's not super exciting, to me anyway. I think, like I always say, I think he needs to be a bit more ferocious. But I think he would still be a bigger fucking star than any of them guys. Dude, and especially for the last several years, that's a fucking gift wrapped present to Loma. If you would have let him fight, if they would have let him fight Tank at say 130 pounds or 126 or 130, could you imagine the beating he would have received? It would have been brutal. Brutal. He had a tough time for C- guys. Like, having tough times. It wouldn't have been good. No, I don't. Look, and this goes, I hope it gets made. I hope Tank and Loma is the very next fight they have. But again, like the same way I'm going to go on who would I think would have the better outcome in winning, it's going to, what is the likely outcome that it happens now when for 7 years in 3 divisions, champs in the same division year after year after year after year, and Tank refused to fight him. Why would he all of a sudden want to fight when he might be able to get Shakur? And Shakur's a way easier fight. Way easier. Yeah, the pressures are different. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was wondering that myself. Yeah, the Loma's mental pressure is what really gets fighters. It's the mental pressure that really starts to break these guys down. They stay nervous, tense, and as them rounds start to cook, they start to fade. Yeah, that's it, Sean. That is what happens. Yeah, if Loma can avoid the knockout or avoid getting dropped 1 or 2 times, even because if he gets dropped once, it's going to be a really hard fight to win if it's in America. But yeah, if he can avoid getting dropped a couple times or basically knocked out, he's gonna run away with it, and everyone knows that. So, and in what world is it just like, oh, Tank absolutely KOs Loma? Because in order to be like Tank beats Loma, he's got to knock him out. So not you, but the Teddy Atlas, Paulie, Algier, you just think Tank just knocks out Lomachenko. No one's ever been able to do it, and not even close. Bigger guys, bigger punchers. Tio, not able to do it with one hand, not able to do it. I don't know. Coming off of a long layoff, still weren't able to do it. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I guess Cruz beats Loma too. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's clearly just bias. No, I'm not. I really don't think I am. I really don't. What boxing skills? This is it. What? Okay, I'm going to ask you then. What boxing skills of his am I underrating? Am I underrating his jab? Am I underrating? I'm not going to underrate his slip and counter because that's what he's best at. He does that great. I'm not going to underestimate catch and shoot, slip and counter. But jab, I don't rate it. Cutting a ring off, I don't rate it. Head movement, I don't rate. Repeated head movement, not one pull counter, not a pull counter, repeated head movement. I don't rate it. I mean, there ain't much. Dude, there's just not much there. There's not much there. He's good at what he does, but what he does ain't boxing. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. I definitely want to see it, but there's not too much going on there. It's just shell the fuck up, walk forward, boom, keep taking your shit, keep pecking, waiting, and then boom, as soon as you see it, whack him. When you got that big power, it's like Ryan Garcia versus Haney. You can just circle the ring, wait, look for that opening, look for that perfect shot, and bow, zap their ass. So, that's happening, but I'm not going to be like, well, Ryan got these underrated skills. He don't. He's a puncher. He's just a fucking puncher. He's a fighter. A fighter puncher. Same as Tank. Fighter puncher. They might go about it in different ways on different nights, but they're just fighter punchers. They're not boxers at all. At all. They don't have they don't even have like B+ boxing skills. Either of them. Like B+ just fundamentals across the board. Again, they do some things fantastic, right? Like if you had to break down the categories of all the skill sets, a couple of them will be really high. The vast majority of them will be really low. They'll be really good at like speed, power, countering or something. A few will be high, but everything else will be pretty diminished. That's just what they are. I'm not underrating shit, I don't think. I just think I'm actually rating it for what it is. I'm rating it for exactly what it is. I think people are overrating his boxing ability because what the fuck are people rating it on? Who's he outboxed? What boxing ability has he shown? What? And I'm talking across the board. Like, I'm not saying point fighting, or you can fight like Golovkin. Golovkin's a fantastic boxer. Coming forward, fantastic boxer. Mike Tyson was a fantastic boxer coming forward. Destroyers. I'm bringing these guys up because they're both destroyers. Like, no, man. I'm not underrating. I think people are overrating. And if you're not overrating, then explain. I need someone to explain what they are talking about, because no one's been able to do it. They just go, yeah, but he's going to knock him out. But how, number one, and then with the skills. Well, what skills? Explain the skills. Well, this shit that I think is going to happen in my head. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. It's not what I wish would happen. This is what's likely going to happen based on all the times you've seen these guys fight. This is what happens. Where's the fight where he just pulls out superhuman abilities? Because he's going to need he's going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat to knock him out. I think we would all agree on that, right? He's not going to outbox the guy at all. So he has to be the first person to ever land the big zippy zap on Lomachenko and get him up out of there, right? That's pulling a rabbit out the fucking hat, right? So he's got to pull a rabbit out the hat. And look, where's these superhuman abilities, superhero shit in the Cruz fight? Like, where? When he's, in some trouble, and he probably should have lost, but close fight. I don't know, man. I'm not going to attribute these abilities that I've never seen from him. What I saw is the first time he fought someone who was a good fighter, good higher level guy, there to win. He couldn't overcome it. That's what I saw. And I'm not saying he shouldn't have got the decision order. I personally thought Cruz did win, but it was close. Give it to Tank. I really don't care. He should rematch him, though. Show us that you can dominate him. If you can, right? But the fact he don't want to is also questionable. But what I saw is the first time he fought a live one, he shit the bed. Like, he tried. Don't get me wrong. He fought his ass off. A good fight and whatnot. But, dude, Cruz is way easier to hit. Way easier to hit. Why couldn't he do it then? Why? But he's going to do it against the greatest defensive fighter of the last decade at the 126 to 135 range. Hands down, the best defensive fighter of the last decade at these weight classes. And he's going to pull the rabbit out the hat and zap him. Like, that's not likely to happen. That's all I'm saying is that's not likely to happen. It could, but to think that that's even a 50-50 chance is crazy. It's crazy. It's not 50-50. It's just not likely to happen. 60-40, he doesn't. 60-40, he don't land it. 60-40, Loma wins. Okay, we can talk now. That's understandable. But to just be like, no, it's like 70-30, Tank smokes him. It's like, well, we're not living in reality. We're not living in reality. Every day, Davis, every day. I'm not even kidding. Almost every day. Yeah, Loma 30 schools him, but this Loma 35, I just don't see it. So Snoopy. Yeah, this Loma is not that Loma at all. There's no doubt this is absolutely the best opportunity Tank's ever had to be able to get a win over Loma. No doubt about it. Tank is going up. He's in his physical prime. He probably, mental prime. He's confident. I don't know if he would stay confident if he had to face Loma, but as of now, he's the best you're going to get physically, mentally, raring to go. And Loma's on the downside. He's aging. He talked bad about the career. Like, I don't know if he didn't even want to fight Kambosos. So he's already talking about retirement. He clearly ain't, he's on the downside. Tank's flying up. Loma's going down. That's what Tank has been waiting on his whole career. Obviously, it was to age Loma out and hopefully catch him at the right time. I still just don't know if it's the right time. He will be able to beat him. Oh, he might be able to do it now, and he'll probably definitely be able to do it in like 2 years. But it's still very dangerous. I'm not quite sure if it's the right time just yet. It has to happen. I don't want him to wait. It has to happen right now. Tank must fight Loma next. Loma must fight Tank next. That is the fight. At 35, that's the fight. That's for lightweight supremacy across the board. Would I say Frank Martin smokes Kambosos? No, not at all. I think that's like an even fight. I think this is a good fight. A good fight. Because styles make fights. Neither guy's a big puncher. Frank Martin is a big lightweight. He's fast. He's sharp. He likes to, move around and outbox, which will make Kambosos have to be aggressive, and he's the counterpuncher. Naturally, he don't do good on the front foot, and Frank's going to make Kambosos fight on the front foot. So Frank should actually, that's a good fight for Frank. Frank should actually try and get that fight. That would be a good fight to get his name back in the mix and good confidence builder. I think that's actually a good fight for Frank, actually. If he can go, if he's got some fucking balls, which I don't know because he folded like a fucking lawn chair versus Tank. I'm not talking about getting KO, just mentally. He wasn't there to win. He put up a good effort for a couple rounds. As soon as Tank said, all right, now let's fight, he said, I quit. Bitch shit. But if that's Tank, I get it. Tank gets in fighters' heads. I understand that because the fear of just getting brutally KO'd in front of everyone terrifies guys. So he don't have that worry with Kambosos though. But if he got a good 12-round hard fight, because neither guy's probably going to get knocked out. It's going to be a 12-round fight. I think Frank should actually go for that fight, man. It's actually a good fight for him. He has what it takes to beat Kambosos for sure. But I think it would happen by a decision, but still. Well, Loma is disenchanted. Yeah, he said that himself after, especially after the Haney robbery. He just said it after the the Cambosos fight. Like I wasn't fighting again. He said he was done. After Haney, he was done. He didn't tell anyone, but he was done. His dad kept sending him videos and highlights and positive messages, being like, look at this shit. We can come back and smoke these guys, man. Let's go. One more run. Let's go smoke these guys. And he said his father talked him into it. Does he even want to come back again? But even if he does, right? Like if he makes that decision up, he still has 1 foot out the door. So that definitely is good for Tank. Like all this is, these are all advantages mentally, whatever, for Tank. What up, 150? Big say so. Yeah, as long as the only problems Loma had were the dick punches Haney was landing. Half of his body shots were low. Again, some people might not understand this. The belly, anything below the belly button is a low blow, guys. That's the ABC Commission's rules of boxing. Marcus of Queensberry rules of boxing. Anything below the belly button is the line, okay? For everybody. Now, like if this is your belly button, if I punch you right on it, that's not low. You know, if I'm up here, like this isn't even low. But if I'm like hitting you, that's fucking low. I'm hitting you down, and like, come on, man, that's where it gets low. But if you're right on it, that's different. That's borderline. Like that's where it's borderline. But when your whole glove is way under it, that's low. And the ref doesn't have to call it. Just a shout out Hill Dog. A ref don't have to call it low for it to be a low blow. You don't score it. If a punch doesn't land in a scoring zone, you don't score it. Okay, that's another thing I don't think people understand about boxing. You know, like I can use myself as an example for this because I think this is how Tank got the win over Cruz. It reminds me a lot of Tyson rounds, early rounds of Tyson fights when he was older. He wouldn't, he'd come out and bomb on you, boom, boom, boom. But the opponents would catch almost everything on the gloves. Tyson he'd have all his punches blocked. They'd come out, he'd punch them right on the gloves, boom, boom, boom. But the whole crowd would go nuts. And he'd win the round. He got hit like 6-7 times clean. He hit the guy like twice clean, but like 8 times on the gloves. And they're just like, oh, like, and I could see it back then, but I didn't care because like I was very biased for Mike. So I'm like, I don't give a shit. Get them rounds. Give him them rounds. But yeah, it's the same thing for Tank and Cruz. He's hitting them on the gloves a lot, but because it's Tank, they have, he's your guy. You're gonna have a little bias. Like I did with Mike. It's the same shit. That is what happened. But yeah. Someone he didn't win all them rounds. There we go. Yeah, Quags, they do that on purpose as well because the abdominal wall has like 40% less muscle tissue below the navel. They made that rule for a reason, obviously. Yeah, absolutely. And in your pelvic region, below the belly button, this whole triangle pelvic region, like if this is your belly button right here, all that down to like your nuts and shit, right? That's a fucking nerve ending super center. Like that's like the super center of all your fucking nerve endings. Go run right into your spine. It all combines right there to go down your legs, up your spine. Huge. That's why you can't low blow someone. It's not just the testicles. It's not like people think low blows are just testicles. Your whole fucking lower abdominal and pelvis region is fucking littered with nerve endings. And you cause serious damage. That is why it was made a rule. For a reason, obviously, yeah. Ryan got suspended up to a year, I guess. He agreed on up to a year, $1 million fine, which got to go to Golden Boy, and a percentage, I guess, to Haney. They're negotiating, I think. And the loss was overturned to a no contest. Precise's channel is Fight Film. I think the logo is a black F and a white F like this. Yeah, right there. Oh, good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I watched. I saw this. Yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I was doing stuff and but I was listening to it. But I got the gist of it. So, did you see Precise's video where he couldn't find Shakur in Vada's website? All of his opponents were congratulated by Vada for completing the program, but not Shakur. Yes, because Shakur never did Vada. It's that simple. And he never completed it, is what it means. He may have done. I'm not sure. I know he has never completed it ever. He's never completed Vada testing ever, or he would be on the site. He never has. So I'm not sure. I would have to. I could hit up Goodman right now. I could send her an email and ask her. I was gonna ask Precise. Should I email her and ask her? Because she'll just tell me straight up if he did, what dates and whatnot. But as far as I know, well, I know he never completed it. But he may have took a couple VADA tests, for a couple fights or something. He was registered, never tested. He never completed it. That's all I know. He never completed it because every time, if a fighter completes it, successfully completes it, they get the congratulations. He never completed it ever. I don't even know if he's ever tested. I don't know that. That's what I'm interested in asking her myself. Has he even tested ever? I don't know. He definitely never completed it, but he's a fucking cheat. Come on. Look, if you will willingly just punch someone in the pelvis region balls 50 times on national television with no shame, why would you not take PEDs? Why would you not? Of course you would. Of course you would. How did he, Precise pointed out the fucking stretch marks from swelling up so damn fast? Yeah, I wonder where that comes from, right? A fucking teenager, like what? Yeah, fuck that dude. Again, props to and Precise is right. There's a big story there if anyone wants it, right? But anyone who's been here for the decade I've been here will tell you I've been there, done that. We've all been there, done that, investigated. I've fucking talked to everybody, everything. Every time no one cares. That's all I'll just say. No one cares about drugs. No one cares about PEDs. Nobody. The only time they ever pretend they care about PEDs is when they can use something about PEDs to help their fighter or hurt a fighter they don't like. Never. I've never met anyone ever in like, not on here, but in like boxing or media realm who's totally the same when it comes to PEDs across the board. It is always based on who it is. Always. If I like him, it's fine. If I don't like him, not fine. Or my guy I like this guy and he cheated. I don't care because it's the same thing for everyone. So like to think you're gonna go cover this big story. Well, I've done this, right? Done it, been there, done that. Tons of reporting on all this, contacting Vada, WADA, USADA, Soliman, CBP, fucking everybody talk to them all, wrote reports on it, video, nothing. No one cares. No one cares. No one cares. So there is a great story there. Like I would love to read it or whatever, but I ain't putting in that fucking work. And like, this is the reason why no one does it. You're going to go put in, let's just say a 40-hour work week. Whether you can do it in 1 or 2 days or it's going to take you 2 weeks to put it all together. Look at upwards of 40 hours and what are you going to get for it? What are you going to get for it? Like, I'm not even talking about money because you'll get about $50 for it. That's what you'll get for it. If it blows up, maybe a few hundred. Should generally get about $50. 40 hours and a couple people to be like, hey, good job. You're right. And 80% of the people to call you a fucking asshole and say you don't know what you're talking about and shame you, call you all kind of, it's just, that's what you get for it. That's what you get. It's, I've probably dug into that more than like anyone apart from someone like Thomas Hauser or something. And I've talked with him over this Floyd shit and all this other shit. But yeah. Yeah, the Floyd IV effect. Exactly. Exactly. Imagine if Pacquiao got caught doing that the day before the fight. It was over. It was over. Floyd wouldn't have even fought him. Number one, that would have been his way out. And he would have sued the shit out of Top Rank and Pacquiao and all them. But because it was Floyd who got caught, they weren't even going to tell us. They were never going to tell us that he got caught doping ever for the Pacquiao fight. Never were going to tell us until Thomas Hauser, got a leak from the Nevada Commission, from the Nevada State Athletic. Somebody in the Nevada State Athletic Commission leaked the fucking info to Hauser. And then Hauser went to them and said, give me the fucking documents, and got them and found out Nevada gave Floyd a therapeutic use exemption for doping, for getting caught red-handed in his own house, doping the day before the Manny Pacquiao fight. Never told us. We didn't find out till 3-4 weeks after the fight because of Thomas Hauser. They were never going to tell us. And we know, and they still 90% of you probably don't even know what happened. 90% of boxing fans don't even know this happened. But you want to talk about drug cheats and shit, right? Your idol, Floyd, got caught doping the day before the Manny fight. Doping, broke all the protocols. WADA, VADA, USADA, all of them. But because he paid, USADA was his drug testing agency, no one used USADA but Floyd. Everyone else used VADA. Floyd refused to use VADA because they actually would have tested him. So he just paid USADA fucking 25. Like, dude, the amount of money they made off this guy to just allow him to dope. And when they caught him, they walk in his house. He's there with needles in his arms. Like, no joke. This is the report. They walked in. He got needles in his arms. Therapeutic use exemption. They don't even test to see what the substance was he was injecting in himself. They don't even test the substances he was injecting in himself. That's Floyd Mayweather. That's Floyd Mayweather. Right? Yeah. Manny still whooped his ass with one arm. With one arm, still put the beats on that dude. Put the beats on him. Yeah. Manny couldn't even get a fucking ibuprofen for a fucking rotator cuff. No, I didn't. Yeah, he still fought terrified. Juice to the gills, still fought terrified. Anybody catch Paulie still talking ish about Pacquiao and the boxing channel? I think it's Pro Box with Chris Algieri. Teddy was giving Pacquiao props for going up weight classes, and Paulie just couldn't help it. Couldn't help it, eh? Yeah. No, I didn't see that. No, it probably was a masking agent. Yeah, that's what it was, actually. We can't guarantee that, but yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, yep. I have all that shit documented in the videos. Yeah. He was giving them percentages, and yeah, I can't remember the exact amount, but the test itself is only like 10 to 15 grand per fighter for a whole 3 months. That's what VADA does it for, On average, it's like 10 grand per fighter for 3 months. For like a real testing protocol and all that shit. It's like 10 grand. The dude's paying 10 times that to a corrupt agency. An agency that is still corrupt because you can see the corruption in the UFC now, right? When they catch someone cheating that they like, right? When they catch John Jones, Dana White's fucking favorite fighter of all time. Don't let him tell you it's Chuck Liddell. It's John Jones. When they catch John Jones cheating over and over again, it's not cheating, right? It's not cheating at all. When they catch someone else, gone. They catch Nate Diaz or Nick Diaz for some marijuana, 5 years out of here. John Jones, testosterone, testosterone, testosterone. You're good to fight. You're clean. You're good to fight. That's USADA. Why? I wonder why Floyd used them, right? I wonder where they learned this from, right? All right, look at this. 59, boxing every day, never heard anything like you're saying. Look it up. Thomas Hauser, Floyd Mayweather IV, day before Pacquiao fight, 750 milliliters. USADA, therapeutic use exemption, TUE, all that shit. Thomas Hauser wrote the whole, it's crazy. It was on ESPN and everything. They talked about it for a day. They talked about it on ESPN for one day. Floyd Mayweather caught cheating before the Manny Pacquiao fight. Well, they gave him a therapeutic use exemption. It's reported. But all right, next story. That's it. That's what they covered. Look into what they caught him doing. And Dawn Hill. Look up Dawn Hill. Anyone want to? They're all hate gossip. That's not hate gossip. It's the Nevada State Athletic Commission and USADA's own documents. There's no debate. Floyd admitted it. USADA admitted it. The Nevada State Athletic Commission admitted it. There's no. Dawn Hill. Look up Floyd Mayweather's white daddy. Look up Floyd Mayweather, white daddy. All right. Dawn Hill Jr. Dawn adopted Floyd when Sr. was in prison. Quote, I didn't know anything about training fighters, but I got Floyd into shape. Well, Dawn Hill Jr. At this point in time was the biggest, he had the biggest chain in the continental United States, biggest chain of anti-aging clinics. What is an anti-aging clinic? That is where you go get your steroids, your TRT, your human growth hormone, your Botox, all that. That's Floyd Mayweather's white daddy was a legal steroid doctor. He lived with him for years. Lived with him when his father went to prison. Lived with him. This Floyd Mayweather. He says, that's my white daddy. His brother Dan was the doctor. Dan and Dawn Hill and their wives. It's two brothers and their wives. Their wives are running the empire now. One of them is at least. His brother Dan was the doctor. They're in business together. And their wives are like, they still got the clinics. The clinics are still running. Like, this is their business. The Hill family, that's what they do. They are in the selling steroids business. That's Floyd Mayweather's family. All right? That's his white family, according to him. That's who he lived with, grew up with. I mean, there's not according. This is who he's been doping forever. Forever. Why do you think he knew all about doping? Why do you think he knew all the drug names, all the protocols, and was just saying Manny was doing it? Because he knows it all. Floyd taught me more about PEDs than any other fighter ever. I'm not even kidding. Floyd Mayweather taught us all more about PEDs in boxing than any fighter ever. And it's not because he was trying to clean up the sport. Where did he get all this knowledge? Where did a punchy ass fucking half a tard have all this steroid knowledge from? Where did he get it from? Where did this all come from? Oh, I wonder, huh? I wonder. Just something to harp on. But it's the same thing with Devin Haney and Victor Conte, right? Like, Victor Conte is the biggest illegal steroid dealer, supplier, chemist in professional sports history. Victor Conte, Devin Haney's teammate, is the biggest illegal steroids dealer professional sports has ever seen. He doesn't just deal them, he creates the undetectable steroids. This is what he went to prison for. Creating undetectable steroids and selling them to professional athletes. The biggest one ever is Devin Haney's teammate. But he's clean, huh? Or like, Ryan's the cheater, right? Ryan is a cheater, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, did Ryan probably take something? Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, he probably did, of course. Did Haney? Of course. Of course, it's an even fight. They're both on shit. Like, dude. Yeah, I do remember that. I no, I didn't remember it until you brought it up, but I do remember it now. Yeah, you remember when Floyd publicly donated 140,000 to USADA to ensure fairness and cleanness of the sport on the week of May Pack. All the news articles about it. Cuts. I do remember this. Absolutely, they're not all scrubbed. There's no way they are. It's on. It's on social media. You could find it on like Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. I talked about it. I have a video about it. I did a video on it. I have a video on it. It's not scrubbed. I covered that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that Belco shit was crazy. That was supposed to be a shell company to run Snack and others. That's why he listed it as a conglomerate. Yeah, I just had to. Someone just dropped a comment. I was asking anybody, does anybody buy snack supplements and stuff? And have you tried them? Like, do they work? Because I was talking about how creatine really fucking works, right? Well, someone commented that yeah, they actually do get their supplements from Snack, and he said they work like a motherfucker. Legal, all legal stuff. He said they work like a motherfucker. So like, even though this is what we were talking about, like, where is the line drawn? You know, like when it comes to PEDs, where is the line drawn? Because Victor Conti's creating substances and putting them in whatever the fuck he's selling you, and then like it works. So if it works, if you're getting a performance enhancement, so much so that you'll keep spending hundreds a month to keep re-upping on your supplements because they fucking work, because they're worth the money, because the performance enhancement you are getting out of them makes it worth keep buying them month after month. Well, then why isn't where? And I'm not saying this should be illegal, but why isn't it? Right? Why? Where's the line drawn? Right? Where is the line drawn? And it's only going to get worse as chemistry continues to develop and more is learned about how to, affect androgen receptors and build muscle and SARMs. It's just going to get crazier and crazier. And dude, you're not going to be able to detect it. You can't detect it now. You can't detect it now. Dominion says, Floyd taught me about PEDs. He taught me a ton about them, and I started looking into them more because of Floyd. So like, Floyd didn't teach me a bunch, but he certainly made me go do some research. Steve Kim swears by Conti. I like Kim's writing and style, but he defends Conti as the guy. Never did anything. I like Steve Kim. I ain't gonna say nothing negative about Steve Kim. I'm not thinking you're looking for that at all. I'm just saying. Yeah, I like him too. Didn't know he swears by Conti or whatever. They're from like the same region. They're from Cali boys, so I can understand that they're going to be in the same circles a lot. And it's not, I don't think that Kim even wouldn't believe that Conti does have best interests at hand. That's his opinion. That's fine. I certainly don't believe that. I no way in hell. This dude is BDA when BDA was on here talking about this Victor Conti documentary on Netflix, and he's talking about like all the duping delight smiles that Victor Conti would constantly do when he talk about getting over on the system, and he'd be like, still sly little smirk, like I got over on them, I'm still getting over. He can't hide the joy of pulling a fast one. He loves it. Those guys don't stop. Look, okay. Anyone about the action, like loves the action of any kind. You can't cut it out. You can substitute it, like, I don't know, sports for gambling, like Michael Jordan, right? Love the action of competitive everything, but those sports. But when he wasn't, it's nighttime. What are you going to do, right? Gamble. I'll fill the void. You just transfer. You still have that need, and you still got to fill it. It don't go anywhere. Um, you'll just move it. Did he move it? I don't know. I bet he's just doing the same thing. Better. He's just better at it now. He got caught. He said, "This is how I got caught. This is how I don't get caught next time." And then while he's laying in his bunk every night, this is how I would do it better. This is how I could do it better. That's what, yeah, that's my belief. Absolutely, that's my belief. Now, do I think he's like willy nilly fucking Dylan to people? Hell no. He has a very, very tight circle of a super select group of very high level, big money making athletes that he feels he can trust, because you can't rat me out. You rat, if let's say Haney can't rat him out, right? Barry Bonds couldn't rat him out, right? Like these type of guys, you're gonna have to take a huge hit in order to hit me. So you have to like hurt yourself to hurt me when you're dealing with that caliber of an athlete. The PR is a fucking nightmare for them. They can't do it. Yeah. Yeah. Him talking about this when he showed Shane Mosley how to do EPO in his office. There used to be a video on YouTube about it. Literally shows him injecting it into his stomach. I think you can still find that video. But yeah, you put it in your abs and you can't. This is what he shows you, that you can't inject it all into one spot. Like if there's 4 cc's. You go 1 cc in this spot, in this ab muscle, 1 cc in this ab muscle, 1 cc in this ab muscle, 1 cc in that ab muscle. And that's how your body absorbs, the highest bioavailability rate of it, like 90% of it or whatever. Check out what the WBC is saying about Haney, Garcia. Let's see. I went to boxing scene. I'm not seeing shit on here yet. Oh, paraphrasing, but Rachel Donaire said Nonito went to Victor Conti to revitalize his career. Yeah, she did. And didn't he get caught doping at the exact same time? Isn't that when Donaire tested positive and got caught taking PEDs as well? When he was with Victor Conti? When he went with Victor Conti, that's when he got caught, right? Am I correct? Am I remembering this correctly? Zarafa last fight, he was trained by Nonito, and Rachel was his physical trainer, and you saw what Laura. Am I correct though? Didn't Nonito get caught taking PEDs when he was revitalizing his career? Maybe I'm wrong. I swear I remember that though. Yeah, this is what Memo Radio loves it too. He helped juice up Canelo, Marquez. David Benavidez was just working on Memo Heredia. He just got rid of Memo Heredia. He's not with him anymore, but he was. Memo is Victor's partner. Was his partner. His ex-partner. What up, Hawker? So, yeah, Floyd, Oscar, Mosley, they were all dope heads. For sure. That's why, yeah. That's why Oscar and Shane's fights were so fucking good. He dropped weight and regained a belt. Who the F does that at an older age? Very uncommon. Rachel did some physical. Oh, jeez. Benavidez can't make 68 without Memo. He didn't need him to make 75. You think? Is that the conspiracy theory? Makes sense. It does make sense, right? That is interesting to think about. if he does need Memo for the 68, and that's why he got rid of him. I don't know. Or maybe he took what he needed from Memo. He already learned what he needed to learn, what substances to buy. So now you don't need Memo anymore. You know? I don't know, just a thought. He doesn't look like he's on shit, but you know. What was the WBC saying? And I also heard, I'm gonna go check it out, but I also heard that Ryan and wait, what was I about to go check? Oh, X. I heard Ryan and Haney agreed to a rematch when the suspension is up. I saw Showbiz had that in the title. I'm going to look right now. Oh my God. I got to share this screen. This kind of makes me angry. Here, watch this. Where are all those change your bio to 31-1 motherfuckers at? I bet they're all through your comment section, bro. I bet they're all through your comment section, clowning you. That's where they're at. Yeah, I was just telling my son that he still hasn't watched Gaddy Ward 1. He's seen highlights of it and stuff, but never saw the full fight. I was like, we gotta watch this. It's only like 30 minutes. This is what they're planning. Because he wants to rematch him if that's what they want to do, right? When the suspension is up. He figures Ryan's going to be out of the gym for like a year, partying, drinking, traveling, enjoying his money. Maybe he gets a fight in Saudi or something. Maybe that would be best for Ryan to stay busy, try to fight in Saudi. But if not, that's a year out of the ring, a year with Ryan being Ryan, and a year with Devin and Victor Conti working their asses off. Honestly, if he works his ass off, retires, jumps out of the testing pool and everything, and just busts his ass in the gym with Victor Conti, he could come back and win. He could come back and beat Ryan because Ryan would be not in good shape after a layoff. If all this happens, like he doesn't get a fight in Saudi or something, has a year off. But yeah, that's their goal. I know that's what they're hoping for. Let's take some time off and try to catch us full slipping. We'll try to catch them slipping. Do what Floyd Mayweather did best, what Sugar Ray Leonard tried to do. Well, kind of did to Hagler, I guess you could say, what he did to Hagler, right? What he did to Duran in the rematch, catch him slipping. Let him get out of shape, jump on him, be like, sign his contract, let's run it. Boom. That's what they're planning. That's what they're hoping. I won't say planning, but you get it. Now let's see if there's some sort of an agreement. Wow, look, we were just talking about Gaddy Ward. Danny Swift Garcia says, Gaddy versus Ward, name a better fight. Yeah, I can't. I'm not even going to try. I watched that sucker live, alone, by myself, alone, watching that thing, waiting to go out. And I'll never forget catching myself with my jaw literally open, like catching flies, watching it just in amazement. I was just going to bring this up in the last stream, CVP. I'm glad you actually brought that up. I was just going to bring this up because I saw a little short on What Up, Puerto Rico. I just saw a little short on the lady who killed him, his kid's mom or whatever. And yeah, I started thinking, I can't believe no one has ratted yet. Because they killed him. They killed him for sure. Someone came in and choked him to death and they smashed him in the back of the head with something. That's what happened. They smashed him in the back of the head with something. She might have done it. But she had help to lift his body and stuff. She would have had to have help. something happened there. I'm just surprised that nobody still to this day has came forward with information, because I know his family and like his manager um has stated that there's a reward for information. I don't even think it's leading to an arrest. I think it's just for information, because they understand, because it happened in Brazil, you're not going to get a conviction or a charge. They just want to know what actually happened. Yeah, she made him sign over his damn life insurance right before it. Right before it. His actual family got nothing from him. Nothing. Well, they said he hung himself on a strap that couldn't even hold him, because the strap clearly broke. So it never even held him. So you're telling me, they're saying the strap broke when he was like dead, because he didn't survive. So he died hanging, then the strap breaks, right? So it survived. That strap was strong enough, a purse strap was strong enough while he's flailing? Of course not. No, it's disgusting what they did to him. Yeah, someone may have said something. Local Brazilian police are covering it up. Yeah, she paid someone. I wouldn't doubt she was sleeping with some gangsters or police officers or government people, whatever, down there, in them high society circles. She had so much money, and, maybe made a deal. Oh, they definitely had marital problems. Yeah, they definitely had marital problems. Bro, that what Kobe's wife, and honestly, Kobe's a fucking simp. I lost so much respect for Kobe when I heard he left his parents like that. He goes, "These females will do your family bad if you have money and die." Kobe left his wife almost $1 billion, and she gave his family nothing. Yeah, not almost nothing. Nothing. But you got to look at that as Kobe himself. It's disgusting. But yeah, they will do that, because even if Kobe did feel some type of way, which he didn't, because his own people said that that was her like wishes, like pull away because they didn't like her. The police are totally crooked there. Yeah, it's Brazil. Like, you can do anything. Ryan does have a good right hand. Tank Davis said the hardest he ever was hit. First, after he fought Rolly, he said the hardest he ever was hit was Rolly. Then after Ryan, he said the hardest he was ever hit was Ryan, and it was Ryan's right hand that he said was the hardest punch he ever took. But Ryan's not comfortable with it. He's not confident in it. He's not comfortable with it. Look at Freddie Roach and Manny Pacquiao when he had to develop Manila Ice. He just had him, throwing the hook for months and months, and just kept telling him, "Man, that left hook is fast, or that right hook is fast. That is powerful. Just keep building false confidence, but build confidence in it. Make the guy get confident in the punch." All his confidence resides in the left hook. Bradley said Loma is a 50-50 with Tank. That's cool. I saw him talking about it, but I didn't get his opinion. I heard Algieri and Paulie, and they were just saying that Tank smokes him. But Shakur can easily beat Tank if Tank don't knock Shakur out. It's like, well, what? That's the exact same thing for Loma. Except Loma would have a better chance than Shakur. Carl Malone tried banging Kobe's wife. Makes sense. That checks out. That checks out. Sonny Liston's death is suspicious. Yeah, kinda. Kinda. I mean, he was definitely selling dope in Vegas. That's well established. There's an interview with a famous DEA agent, um, really famous DEA agent. There's an interview with him on YouTube. He was assigned to investigate Sonny Liston while Sonny Liston was alive, and he tells the story. Like he went and even talked to Sonny about this. Like, yo, we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you. Yeah. Uh, when his boxing career stopped, he went right back to his gangster ways, extorting people, selling heroin, probably using. But yeah, it's not. I don't know. It's not that. I guess it could be suspicious. The DEA agent thinks that he was given a hot shot. That was the DEA agent's belief. I don't know though. He didn't have any like evidence on why he thought that, besides the fact that Sonny didn't like needles. He said he didn't like needles. That's not really enough evidence to convince me, because no one's holding Sonny Liston down, so it doesn't really check out to me. Yeah. I think Shakur is the hardest to beat because he has no shame in pot shotting for points and being negative for all 12 rounds. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, in that it's very hard to get a clear win over someone like that, right? Because you can always keep a fight close fighting like that. And that's their goal, because they're not fucking good enough to just come out and beat your ass. They have to keep a fight close and then just hope to get the fucking decision, right? But yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. I don't even know. I agree. Yeah, I'd like to see that, right? But and what you always hear about Ryan is Ryan's just not a gym rat. He's just not a gym rat. He's not. He's just not a gym rat. He'll work out and shit every day, I'm sure, but he's not. I don't know. I have seen no evidence that the guy is developing like new skill. He's not developing as a fighter. He's just staying the same. Like he just is Ryan Garcia. Kind of like Tank is just Tank. That they are who they are. Yep, that's my biggest complaint, bro. That's my biggest complaint. The lack of inside fighting. It's because the art of inside fighting seems like it lacks today. Yeah, it's not seeming. It is lacking big time. It's lacking big time. Hardly any like it's it is like a lost art form. It's like a lost art form, and it's what it really feels like is it's a lost art form in a lot of American gyms, because so many American fighters and trainers want to do the Floyd Mayweather style. They want to do the Floyd Mayweather style. They want to stay on the outside, point fight, counter punch, zap, a little pot shot here and there, not take much damage, put on a not very exciting fight. That's the style that they like, and that's the style they want to teach. And, they forget that Floyd did have an inside game. Just because he didn't choose to use it much, he still had it. When his outboxing wasn't good enough to keep someone up off of him and they would get in his chest, he had something. He had some level of an inside game to catch and shoot, to slip and counter. These guys don't. They just clinch. Floyd was big with the clinching too. But, we saw Makoto and stuff, Castillo, the first Maidana fight. Like, he would sit there and bang it out because he could. Shakur, he don't have that. He couldn't do it under any circumstance. He just doesn't have that ability. A lot of these guys don't. A lot of them just don't, and it sucks. It's like, hey, I get you want to be like Floyd, but don't forget this major key factor. Because if Floyd didn't have an inside game, he couldn't have beat Cotto. He couldn't have got the decision over Maidana, the first one I thought he lost, but whatever. He couldn't have even gotten. He wouldn't have even survived. So yeah. I don't see these guys pushing anyone back, planting their feet and banging it out. Oh, dude, check this out, Hashface. I always bring that up. That's one of my. That's to me. That's like a foundation for teaching infighting. Because I remember when I was younger, they'd make us each put one leg inside of a tire. You can't take it out. You just got to keep it there and stay right there in box. Yeah, right on the inside with each other. That's how you learn. I just saw a short. Some dad had his sons in the backyard with the gloves on, and he had each of them with a foot in the tire. Every comment was, I've never seen this before. I never heard of this. This is a great idea, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, this used to be extremely common. It was so common. You saw that too? Everyone was like, what the heck is this? This is awesome. I'm like, bro, that's like you don't know about this? This is how you learn. And them kids were getting it in. They already had a better inside game than Haney and Shakur combined. I have the video in my like. I hit like. I wanted to bring that up because every comment was like, "What is this? This is a great idea." I'm like, man, boxing gyms are so fucking lost. That's always just been a staple of like any young fighter's development. And not only does it teach you how to defend yourself on the inside and fight on the inside, but it gets you comfortable on the inside. It's not, plant your feet and just start swinging 100%, bombing on each other or anything. You start at like 50%, slowly up the speed. By the end, you guys are in the fucking zone working. Yeah, exactly. And Hash just nailed it. That's the best way to learn. You don't even go at like 50. You don't have to be hurting it. You only go at like 50. Exactly what I just said. Yeah. Yeah. And I never, this is another thing I never see people in gyms teaching is, especially with sparring, it's fine. Start off 40, 50%. And just every minute, just keep upping it. And by the end, you guys are fucking, no one's going to get caught cold. And you just both get in the zone. It gets you right into the zone. Because by the time they are going like 100%, it feels like you're going 50. You're just moving at 100. There's no like getting caught slipping. And yeah. And then all of a sudden, day in and day out, you are going round and round, like 80, 90%, round after round. Dude, and now all of a sudden, you are just in that mode at like all times. Josh, I just saw one of your comments yesterday on some channel. You were talking about over here, they make you watch Andre Ward's entire career before they even let you spar. In Australia. I was like, what are you talking about, Jeff Horn or some shit? I was cracking up. I saw your comment of yours yesterday. Yeah, Haney was never unanimously liked by anybody. Spence was definitely unanimously liked by all them guys. Was Tank, though? I feel like there's a bunch of them that hate on Tank. Like, I saw a bunch of channels going into the Frank Martin fight. I was seeing a bunch of, like, shorts of dudes being like, Frank Martin's gonna beat his ass, and they're like Shakur fans though. So there's a lot of guys who like fuck with Shakur or Haney. If only every fighter could be like James Toney, right? If only. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. What they try to oh man. Yeah, these guys try to do what Floyd did, and when that fails, they just run and hold. The thing is, they try to do what they think Floyd did, because that ain't even what Floyd did. Again, Floyd could do it all. He had a bit of everything. They don't. They're extreme. Floyd wasn't one dimensional. Floyd was not a one dimensional fighter. These guys are one dimensional. Haney is one dimensional. Shakur is one dimensional. I never understood why people would compare them to Floyd fucking Mayweather. Like, as much as I'll criticize Floyd, like, they're nowhere. They're not in the same conversation. Emotional damage. Yeah, that's it. And that's why they didn't even know what the fuck the tire, putting your feet in a tire is. Because they don't even think of, to them, that's like, again, we saw this with Floyd, right? They would call you a fucking face forward fool, they would call you stupid if you had an inside game, literally. Like, but Floyd had one, whatever. They would ignore that. But yeah, if you were an aggressive knockout artist, you were just stupid. You weren't good enough to point fight and all that. Like, that was the argument. And that was never a fucking valid argument at all. That's actually a really good point, dude. That's actually a really good point. Another thing Floyd had that these guys don't, a father and an uncle that didn't spoon feed him any bullshit. Oh, fuck. A father and an uncle who knew how to fight their asses off, too. A father and an uncle who were fucking beasts and could teach you, like, yeah, that's a big cut. That's a big thing, too. Bill Haney can't teach 10%, not even 10% of what those guys could, of even one of those guys. So yeah, not only you have great teachers as well. Like, oh dude, there's a it's in my liked videos. There's a really good Cuss D'Amato documentary, right? It was made in Eastern Europe somewhere. It's like an Eastern Europe documentary on Cuss, but it's English language dubbed over. It's in my likes. It's a 2-part documentary. I think I only have one of them liked, but it's on Cuss D'Amato, right? But it goes into, because Cuss D'Amato was real superstitious, almost like into the occult, right? Like, he believed in mind control, hypnosis, like occult stuff, right? But it was mysticism. They call it mysticism in the documentary, because he didn't I didn't see anything that was actually like occult-ish, but Cuss believed there's like energies and you could be in tune, like we've talked about this a little bit, be like in tune with energy. Mysticism is what they call it as, but it's really interesting, right? But going back to like Floyd having the 2 great teachers and they're in the house, like one of them at least is going to be around them all the time. Going back in the day, and they're talking about how great Cuss was because he brought up 3 world champions who weren't boxers when he got them. They were just troubled kids. He took them right off the street and brought them to the height to world championships in just a few years. right? From the ground up, taught them everything, ground up, which is rare. Usually these guys will get a talent and build off of it, but he actually created the talent, right? But another thing was, and Mike Tyson talked about this as well. They're almost like it was his idea of sports psychology, and they go into all of this. This is why the documentary. That's why I would recommend you guys watch it. It's really good. It's really good. The way Tyson talked about this, like he was like a slave, right? Like you lived in like the slave quarters. It's the fighters' quarters. You're not really a slave. You can leave anytime, right? But like back then, a trainer had like I remember Ray Arcel talking about Ezra Charles and shit. Like they had full control over you. Like I know what to do. I am the boxing brain. You're the physical talent. This is like a 50-50 partnership. I am going to dedicate my time and my life to making sure your talents are the best they can be, and I get you into the best opportunities and positions you can possibly be in. And it's like a partnership to where like you're going to be with me 24/7. We're going to live together. We're never separate. I'm going to know when you have sex, when you jerked off, when you took a shit, when you everything. Like I'm going to know your mind inside and out because I'm going to be with you 24/7. And you can sit there and teach them. Just keep instilling little positive affirmations, little tricks, techniques, always working with them. So these guys get like 24/7 training for years. In comparison to these guys nowadays who get 2 hours a day, 5 days a week with their quote unquote boxing coach, right? Then 2 hours a day, 5 days a week with their strength and conditioning coach. And you get the point, like their fucking level of training is pathetic in comparison to like the level of training that these guys of the past were getting. So when you see these young dudes being super limited, like skill set wise and ability wise, they're very limited. They're one dimensional. Yeah, because you're working 2 hours a day when someone like, Sugar Ray or whatever, they're, not Sugar Ray specifically, but, guys of the past, Ezra Charles, Mike Tyson, Jose Torres, guys of this caliber, they were, it's never ending. Like it's years continuously every single day, even on your day off. Yes, like the military, even on your day off, Cuss is just sitting there with you, talking to you. And he knows what he's putting in your head. These guys, they're not just Cuss. All these guys, they know what they're doing, just like the military. Imagine, so you're supposed to be a Navy SEAL, but you don't live like a Navy SEAL day in, day out, every single day. Like, you just, an hour a day, let me go practice kicking the door and shooting someone. Like, you're going to get killed. That's why we're seeing a big drop in abilities and skill sets as well. What's this? Dana White told a story the other day. It's on YouTube. He was in the gym when I saw this. Yeah, he was in the gym when Roger Mayweather got into a fight with a heavyweight. They got into the ring to settle it, and Roger whipped the heavyweight's ass. Yeah, when Roger was an old man and this guy was an active heavyweight. Roger made him turn the timer off. He said, no rounds. We're going until one of us quits or gets knocked the fuck out. Yeah, Old man Roger beat the brakes off of Dana's head. I tried telling people this, man. Like, don't let, just because some dude, he's an older guy, don't think he won't whoop your ass, man. That's what I was trying to say about Mike. Like, that's Mike fucking Tyson, man. Like these older guys will just hit you with a punch. Oh my, I don't know. Their punches will be so short, so crisp. Yeah. But yeah, Roger beat the brakes off some heavyweight. It was a good story though. I saw that. Livingstone, Bramble. Yeah, but a lot of these guys, Ryan Garcia is another one. Like this, he's not a gym rat, right? He had Joe Guzin. Joe Guzin's I think Joe Guzin is one of the best minds in boxing currently. To be a cornerman, a trainer, a coach, a cornerman. Joe Guzin is Joe Guzin, one of the best, no doubt about it. Ryan had him and didn't even take advantage of it. Didn't even take advantage of it. In fact, people got mad at Guzin when he said, "You don't train Ryan Garcia. Like, you don't train Ryan Garcia. He just allows you to work with him." And he wasn't saying like, "I'm cool with that." People were like shitting on him, saying like he thought he was saying he was cool with that. He wasn't. He's not cool with it. He would much rather have him as his charge all the way around. Like, you're my fighter. You are my fighter. It's like, and that's what these old school trainers were. Like, I fucking own you, bro. I own you. Because like it's an agreement. Like, you have to sit down with this guy and be like, look, this is the deal we're gonna come to. We're gonna live together. I'm gonna work with you every fucking day. Like, we're gonna be brothers, father, son. Like, we are joined at the hip. Like, my mind, your body, we got this. We'll work together. We got this. You can't fucking leave me when we start, getting to some money fights and all that. That's an agreement you got to come to with these guys. Joe understands this. You just can't. No, I mean, Derek. From what I'm seeing, James is doing better than Guzin was, but I think that's just because of the loss, right? Guzin had he didn't have a Ryan with an L. So he might, can tell him, hey, you want to lose again? You better work a little harder. Derek can do that. But yeah, people were shitting on Guzin, but it's like, that is Ryan. That's a problem for Ryan. He got to fix that. And even Ryan's dad, his own dad said, Ryan will listen to nobody. Like, he'll obviously respect his dad and take his opinion into consideration or whatnot, I'm sure. But even his dad can't control him. Like, you're staying in tonight. No, I'm not. I'm going. Bye. You're, going to the gym right now. No, I'm not. I'm going down to the beach. Bye. That's Ryan. All the time. Look, man, hard work beats talent every time. Ryan has the talent, but he ain't putting that work in. I'm not saying he's not a hard worker. I'm just saying I would like to see him put more work in. When you got that kind of physical gifts, it's almost a slap in the face to the other guys who don't have them physical gifts, but they're in there busting their ass. And it's a bit of a slap in the face to yourself because you're shortchanging your own abilities. You're shortchanging your own abilities. Ryan is. He's shortchanging himself. Yeah, it is. I agree. But again, you'll probably agree with this. It is the trainer's job to get on that boxer's ass. Absolutely. And this is what I see with Ryan, though. Most boxers are going to come from a gym culture of respect, a gym culture of elders. Respect the elders. Listen to them. If the elder says, drop and give me fucking 20, you just do it, right? Like all that. In terms of like coaches and trainers, Ryan don't seem like that guy. I don't think he came up that way. He's looking at it like, nah, I'm just doing my way. You get on Ryan's ass, he might do what you want that day. He just won't come back to your gym the next day. That's what I think. Like, you can push Ryan. He might work hard that day, and then he just won't come back to your gym anymore. He'll be like, oh, you're on my ass. I'm going over here. Hopefully that changes. Maybe that is changing with Derek James. Ryan's not a fighter. I think Ryan is a fighter, dude. I will disagree there. I think Ryan is a fighter. In that he's not a boxer. He's a fighter puncher. Jeez. Bye bye. Yeah, that he's a fight. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Um, yeah, okay, exactly. I know what you're saying. I okay, yeah. This is how I see him as a fighter. What you're saying? No, he's okay. I think we'll probably agree on this. He is a fighter. He's not a warrior, right? He'll catch smoke with anyone. He'll let the hands fly with anyone. But yeah, I don't know if he'll push it to the death, right? Like, you know, you could break him mentally, right? Because why would I assume that that would happen? And I could be wrong, even though we've seen it with Tank, but I could be wrong it would happen again. But the reason I would think that is the way he came up. Like, I don't want to call Ryan soft, but he is soft. Like in terms of warriors, like warrior fighters, yeah, I'd say he's soft. Like in comparison to Oscar De La Hoya, Ryan would be soft. You know, that's what I would say. Uh, he's not soft, but in comparison to someone like who would never break, like an Oscar who would just never break, yeah, I could see that. Oh yeah, Loma's definitely beatable too. Yeah, yeah, but there's no one running around acting like Loma beats everybody moving up until Boots Ennis. There's no one doing that though. That's the thing. Otherwise, if people were saying Loma smokes everything up to a fucking 154 pounder, then I'd be saying slow down, relax to them too. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Hang on one second here. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Okay, and this is another good point, like with the Tank Inui thing, right? Like what I would look. I was thinking about this, like because like catch weights and uh, dehydration clauses or whatever. Like this shit is always kind of been there and kind of will always be here, in the sport. So like I'm not that big against that as long as it's done right. Like I'm thinking about like Tank and Ryan, right? Because then I'm thinking about like Tank and Inui. Like I would be. I don't think they should fight each other or anything, but I'm just saying that if they did, where would they have to meet? Like 128 or something? Like meet at like 128 pounds, and Tank can't weigh more than like 6 pounds more than Inui on fight night or some shit. Like you see what I'm saying? Like I'm okay with a catch weight and a rehydration clause if it like if because they're both going to be handicapped. So as long as the handicapping of each fighter is what we would consider relatively even, I'm cool with it. I don't have a problem with that. But don't like just, you know, come in fresh as a daisy yourself, no stipulations on you at all while you're bringing dudes down in weight and adding dehydration clauses and shit on them like that. None of that shit should be happening. Bob said it's not happening. Tank weight, yeah, 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 exactly. He came in at 133 versus Frank. Yeah, so I mean, I don't think he wouldn't have a problem making 128. I really don't think he would. I don't think the fight should be made. I'm just using those two as a example on like I'm okay with catch weights and rehydration clauses and all that if they're fucking legit and fair, and we know what a fair one looks like. It's like just again, what you'll see with this stuff is if someone likes the guy who is handicapping the opponent, it's a fair handicap. But if their guy is getting handicapped, they're like, that's a not fair one. And usually what we see is they're just all not fair, right? I can't even really recall like a fair one. Maybe Miguel Cotto Pacquiao, right? He made him come down 1 more pound from his last weigh in while he's moving up in weight. He's like, I'll jump up a weight class, but you got to come weigh in 1 pound less than you did on your very last weigh in. Something like that. So he's like, I'll handicap myself moving up, but you got to handicap yourself a little bit too. Like that's fair. Yeah, definitely agreed with that. Yeah, people wish they were Floyd and Oscar. Far from it. You thought Bob said it was happening? Yeah. What's this? What's going on here? Because I heard they were supposed to enter re-enter negotiations. Talking about Tank and Loma, that is. I knew he should fight Shushu. Oh God, he pulverized him. Shushu ain't ready for that. These guys got a lot of experience. What we got here? What Bob said this today? I guess Iceman. Oh, you're talking about Inui and Tank. Oh, okay. Dude, that we should have got that, huh? We really should have got that. I never even why wasn't that talked about more back then? Yeah, thanks for the clarification there, Iceman. Why wasn't that fight talked about? The rematch, yeah. That first fight was the biggest thing in boxing at the time. I think that was like the biggest pay-per-view that year. I think it's set besides a Mike Tyson heavyweight title fight. I think Trinidad De La Hoya set like a pay-per-view record for biggest pay-per-view ever outside of the heavyweights. Outside of Tyson at the time. Because he had the record. And they never even talked about a rematch. I don't even remember a rematch being talked about. I never thought of that. They definitely should have. Oh, yeah, Devin Haney. Devin Haney reposted Artman. That's funny. That's funny. I should make a post. Ryan should fucking repost that shit. Who's this? Oh. They hate us because it's nothing bigger. I don't see an agreement. I don't see an agreement to a rematch. Damn, Haney's been busy today. Progress and it's only dirty when it happens to you. Progray said it's only dirty when it happens to you. Devin said I took PEDs against you. Someone should just retweet that and just say, Victor Conti. Dude, Progray, just retweet Victor Conti. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. Yeah, you took them. Yeah, you definitely took them. No, I didn't see the whole spar. I only saw like that little short with the sucker punch. Yeah, the culture shouldn't matter when a Canelo left hook hit you. As soon as Canelo's left hook hit you, that culture shit went out the window. Like Cameron said, you switched to track culture real fast. Charlo switched to track and field culture real fast. You ain't in the club if you're not in the tub. Yeah, don't matter if they're legal or illegal. They're still PEDs. So, yeah, you definitely took PEDs, Devin. Victor Conti. That's like, what else is there to say? Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. No, that's what I'm saying. There's absolutely no reason Charlo couldn't have beaten Canelo. Physically, he has everything you could ask for. There's nothing he needs physically. He's just as good or as Canelo. It's the mental. He couldn't fucking. He's not a warrior. Again, they're bullies. They're athletes. Athletes. The second he didn't even beat Castano the first time, but the second time he did. Props for the rematch, and I like Jermel. I'm not trying to shit on Jermel, but he definitely because he gave us some good fights, but he shit the bed for sure versus Canelo because he was fucking scared. The same thing we always said. Neither of them would have ever fucked with Canelo or Golovkin, which is why they never wanted those fights. And the best one fought the least better of Golovkin and Canelo. The best Charlo fought the lesser Canelo and got embarrassed. Embarrassed. Yeah, man. If he had just some balls, plant your feet and swing. And look, I ain't gonna argue with anyone who says he took the heat and Charlo never wanted to win. He might have took the fight with zero intentions of ever winning. Because the whole build up to that fight, I've told you the whole time, he don't even want to be there. He told you, like, there was not a shred of confidence, a shred of desire, nothing from Charlo. The whole time it was just, thank you for giving me a payday, Canelo. He was just happy for the payday. I don't know why he did what he did. He could have just threw the fight, honestly. It was that bad. I'm not going to say that's an impossibility, but it was bad. I mean, you can say Canelo beat Triple G twice all you want. Doesn't make it true. So I don't know why you think that would bother me. Nobody believes that. Nobody believes that. That's like saying Haney, people believe Haney beat Loma. Nobody believes that. Nobody. It's like saying Floyd beat Castillo, Floyd beat Oscar, or Maidana, or Pacquiao. Nobody believes that. You might say it because you wish it was true, but you don't believe it. Cuss learned the mystery schools from Aleister Crowley. Yeah. No, I couldn't find any evidence of like actual occultish shit. But like mysticism, right? Energies. And Mike Tyson believed that Cuss had these powers. All right. That's another interesting thing. Mike Tyson believed and believes still that Cuss did have like some sort of mysticism power in that he would call Mike over and be like, "Hey, Mike, watch this. This guy over here is going to get up and go over here and do this." And the guy would go do it, right? Now, he might have set this all up, honestly, just to convince Mike that, like, he can see the future, honestly. To convince Mike that I already see you as the heavyweight champion. I know what is going to happen, and you can trust me because look at the wall. I already did it with Floyd Patterson and Jose Torres. And look at the other guys in the gym. I never tell them they are going to be the heavyweight champion. I tell them they can be, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you, you're going to be. As a young kid with this guy who is everybody, even your hero, Muhammad Ali, gets on the phone with you and tells you, listen to everything this man tells you. He is a genius, so listen to him. And you're like, that's Muhammad Ali telling me to listen to this man. He's not going to lie to you. He's only telling you the truth. So everything Cuss told him, like, I think Cuss used this so-called mysticism as a way to manipulate the minds of his fighters. I think he would set up some of these things that Mike would say in this documentary that he's seen. I just think he was too young to understand that it was like a con. You know, it was like a con Cuss would run on you to make you think he had powers. He was like, yeah, he was definitely like a behaviorist, a psychologist. So he was very aware. They make like they break this all. It's not a Tyson documentary. This is a Cuss D'Amato's philosophy documentary. It's like what you want, right? Yeah. But yeah, he was a psychologist, behaviorist. He was into all that shit. He read all the psychology books, all the yeah. But yeah, like MK Ultra Light or something, right? MK Ultra Light. But yeah, I mean, Mike talked about the hypnosis and stuff. Like Cuss was into all this stuff. And I would just wonder, like, if you got a kid, I don't think it would work if I did it to a young kid like myself. If I was doing the exact same things Cuss was doing, I don't think it would have the same effect. The reason I think Cuss was able to have such an effect is because he has a proven track record, right? He has a proven track record. At the time, Cuss was known as the greatest mind in professional boxing, hands down. He was known as the scientist. Even Muhammad Ali said, you are in the documentary where him and Ali work together, Ali even says, you're the greatest mind in boxing. So when you have that, like, that label, then you have the track record you do with having previous champions. You have all these guys coming to your gym, you know, Muhammad Ali, for crying out loud, calling your charge and telling him whatever you want him to tell him. Yeah, that is going to have a serious effect on a young mind. It's brainwashing. It's definitely brainwashing. It's mental manipulation. It's all for a positive though. But yeah, it's definitely being done. Yeah, exactly. It's like saying Canelo and Floyd was a draw because C.J. Ross said so. Uh, I gotta run though, guys. I gotta hop off. I gotta go take care of my ducks. They're about to go crazy here. Just wanted to jump on for a minute, talk about this Devin Haney Ryan nonsense. hopefully Ryan gets a fight in Saudi, stays busy, because if he don't stay busy, he's just going to deteriorate. And if he plans on rematching Devin when they come back, Devin's going to be in the gym busting his ass on all Victor Conti's supplements and fucking PEDs for a year. So that will be a much different fight in a rematch. You better stay in shape. Better stay busy. And not just fucking travel and party. Because as much as Haney said he's going to do that, I don't think that's the plan. They're going to be busting their ass and pretending like they're traveling and partying. But yeah. What is it? I might jump on tonight, later, like tonight, like around 10 p.m. or something. We'll see, though. We'll see. But yeah, everybody, thanks for jumping by. So I didn't even get to open up the panel or nothing. Might come back tonight if I stay in. We'll see, though. All right, guys. Take care, man. God bless you all. Peace. Absolutely, Jerson. God bless, bro. Peace.